Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in. Because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marlys State of Mind podcast, down here at the Bunch of Bull studio, like we do every Saturday. And tonight, we got a special episode for y'all. We got my man Greg in the building. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's good, brother, man?
We're doing a crossover episode for y'all, man.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all check Greg out on his podcast on Fridays on the Bunch of Bull Network.
Yep, catch us at The World We Know. That's every Friday at 2:30 p.m. on the Bunch of Bull Studios. The World We Know. Greg Lamont, catch us there.
Yeah, man.
Let's get it. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, man. So I felt like we should have a crossover episode. I thought it was only right that we do this. I've done this before with a couple different segments that we've had on the Bunch of Bull Network, and you know, I mean, I always enjoy talking to you anyway. So I felt like this would be a good one to have, man. And you know, you always tackle some good issues and good topics on your podcast. And I thought we can get into some of that on here too. And I know you had some stuff prepared as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to get into that.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for that. That's my favorite thing to do is dive into shit a lot of people don't want to dive into. So
yeah, no, it's tough, man. And that's why I told you before, we was talking off camera before you came down to help me out for an episode we had with the Pen Lords. And we was talking off camera, and I said, I admire your bravery and your ability to go against the grain when people are so accustomed to going with the grain and the popular opinion, and you don't mind voicing your opinion even when it's not the most popular opinion.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, same to you. I seen like you just voiced your opinion on the Family Matters track not too long ago. And I seen, but yeah, no, I feel like you have to be an independent thinker. You can't be a sheep, otherwise you don't really know what's going on. You just know what you're told.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. I think
even if I'm not always right, I do think that's important. My bad.
No, 100%, bro. And I think it's good to question things. Forgive me, y'all. I'm a little under the weather, so if I sound funny, that's why.
But no, at Forto.
Yeah, we see y'all out there watching live. Appreciate you, everybody in the live.
Yep.
No, I think it's good to also listen to opinions that you don't necessarily agree with, because that's how you become more informed and educate yourself. If you're willing to take in things that you don't necessarily agree with, and you can't be closed-minded to things just because it's not something that you agree with or don't necessarily think to be true, because you never know the things that you learn sometimes might not necessarily be the way that the world is. And a lot of people get caught up in their father's religion, is what I call it.
Yeah.
You know, where they just go along with the thing that they've been taught their whole lives and never really break out of it. And as soon as you start questioning these things and you start to put the holes in it, then their whole world just starts to crumble. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough to break that mentality.
Right. Well, I feel like whenever you're diving into new things, or like you say, your father's religion, like if you're questioning things that you always been taught, where's it going? If you're questioning things that you always been taught, it kind of goes against your ego. I believe your ego is the traits and characters you assign to yourself. It's who you see yourself to be. It's not, your ego doesn't mean you're cocky. Your ego is like, this is who I think I am. This is my thoughts, my beliefs, and I want to protect this.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, whenever you're learning shit that goes against what's in your ego, people don't want to hear it. They go against it, whatever. But I think that it's important, like you said, to hear all perspectives. And I don't know. I just don't believe that everything's black and white and there's just one story to things. So I think it's always important to question things.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, bro. I like that. I like how you describe the ego. I never thought of it in that way, but that is a good description of the ego. And you know, I've tripped a whole bunch of times in my life, and so I've had a whole bunch of ego deaths. So I'm grateful for those opportunities and understand like the world is all connected. You know what I mean? And everything's intertwined. And sometimes whenever you lose the ego, you understand that. And you start to understand people differently. And you start to take in people differently. You know what I mean? That's why I never take anything too personal, because I understand most things aren't about me. It's about people It's about whomever I may be talking to. It might be something that they're dealing with or experience they had, and it might not necessarily be reflective of their feelings or opinions about me, but more about their opinions and feelings about themselves.
Right.
And once you get to that understanding, it's much easier to consume things. It's much easier to grow. You know, when you're always so resistant to force or change, you know, it's tough to grow that way. But if you start to flow and go with the flow and become water and transform in those things, it's easy to grow within those things.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's kind of the whole purpose of the First Amendment of being able to say what you want. If people aren't comfortable in speaking their mind and getting into uncomfortable topics, then there's really no. I mean, there is a freedom of speech, but we're not using it. There's no point of it really.
Yeah.
So I think that's the whole point of that, and yeah, like you said, I think that people's worlds will change a lot during their life if they just look into things, and I don't think there's any fun in being stuck in one ideology your whole life.
No, I agree with that 100%, bro. Now, would you consider yourself more on the conservative end of things as far as politics go?
Yeah, I'd say I'm Republican. I mean, if we're saying like there's liberal, Democrat, and then Republican, conservative, I'd say I'm like Republican, but I am more conservative than Democrat. I'd say that. Yeah.
No, I feel you, bro. And I like to say that I'm pretty middle ground, common sense with all that stuff. I don't really feel like I identify. I have more conservative thoughts, especially fiscally. I feel like I'm more conservative. And I think, you know, I mean, I think our culture, I think black folks are too willing to give their selves to the liberal agenda and automatically assume Democrat just because of the color we are.
Yeah.
I think that's a victim stance, and I know you and I spoke about that a lot off camera. You know, I mean, I'm a big fan of Malcolm X, and you know, Malcolm told us like, you know, don't fall for the Democratic tricks. You know, what I mean, they're the fox in the hen house. You know what I mean? Like they're smoother about how they get in there, but they still got the same agenda as the wolf. They still want to eat the chickens no matter how they get in there.
And we were majority like Republican about 100 years ago, so I don't know the exact. I think it was before like the 40s or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm so vocal about the things that I am and get people to talk whether they argue or not. Because like to just jump right into okay, I'm Democrat, fuck the red side, fuck whatever, is to just blindly believe what you're given and told. And my thing is I was that. That's why I think it's good for me to talk from it because I was a Trump hater. And I'm not saying you should love Trump. I'm not saying you should be Republican or whatever. I'm just saying you should question things. But I was a Trump hater. I was I voted for Biden, and I was like, fuck them, blah, blah, blah. But I never looked into anything. I was just told, like, yeah, he's a bad man, this is bad, this and that. And then 2024, 2023, I started listening to speeches. I started looking at what Biden's doing. I start looking at the past, putting the puzzle together. I'm like, I mean, right now, I've put the puzzle together more than I did then. I feel like I'm getting closer to what you are, independent, because it's like two wings of the same bird. But
same God, different suit.
But my only thing of why I am more Republican is that whenever I was Democrat, we were censored. So like, So at least we'll see how it goes. But at least at this point, everybody can speak.
Yeah, even if you don't agree with it, right? I know.
I'm sorry, I'm shivering.
No, yeah, I know. Killer Mike spoke about that before. He had a good point where he was talking about on one of his podcasts. He used to go to these town hall meetings when he was younger. And he said that this guy used to talk out of turn all the time at the town hall meetings, just say foolishness. He asked his grandfather, like, why do they let him talk all the time? He's like, because he got a right to. You know, you got a right to. Whether we agree with it or not, you got a right to. And he said that was his first lesson about freedom of speech. And then he said, you know, some white dude called him a nigga. And his grandfather was like, what you get mad about that for? Like, just like freedom of speech don't stop where you want it to stop at. You know what I mean? Like, but there's also consequences for your freedom of speech too, right?
Right, but that's the nature of that's just the nature of reality. Like every cause has an effect.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
like you shouldn't be able to do a cause. I mean, obviously there's extent like, I mean, it is karma. Like if you murder somebody, obviously something needs to be done. If you do this,
Right.
something needs to be done. But as far as speech, like there shouldn't be a boundary.
Yeah.
I believe.
No, 100%. Like that's real freedom of speech, right? Whenever you can express yourself the way you want to, and like I said, man, I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I'm neither liberal or conservative. I think it's silly to vote for someone based off of a letter next to their name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that's what I always tell people. Vote for your best interest. Don't vote because there's a letter next to somebody's name. Vote for what's your best interest, because that's the smart thing to do. You know what I mean? But I see holes on both ends, and my thing thing with the Democratic side especially is if you look at cities where they are ran Democrat, like they're horribly ran cities for black people. You know what I mean? Like they're not doing anything to help, and they marry.
And those are the people they market to.
Yeah, and they married a black woman to the state, and make it difficult for the black man to come into it. You know what I mean? Because if you're on Section 8 housing, you can't have a felon in your home. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of black men have been. You know, 1 in 3 black men are convicted of a crime. You know what I mean? So they're just trying to take the man out the home. If you're on welfare, they penalize you for getting a job because they take some of your food stamps away. Now it's harder to make up for that, and you're better off not even working and just getting the stamps.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There's so many ways that they marry the women to the state, and we see it so much in popular culture. You know what I mean? They tell a woman that you know, you're independent, you don't need a man, blah, like that's silliness. We need each other. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's always what the family structure has been. A man needs a woman and a woman needs a man. And to operate under any type of other understanding is just pure foolishness.
Right, and it's all backwards because like at the end of the day, we know that the reason why they changed the mentality, broke up the family, did all that was to get tax from both, right?
Right.
I mean, it's deeper than that, but tax a man, tax a woman, tax it all. But excuse me. But even with all the taxes we're doing, we're in much more debt than we was before we was doing it. We're like, you would think that, okay, their goal is to bring in more money to help us, right? But we're bringing in more money to throw it away. So I think that we need to, and I'm hopeful that we're making strides towards it, but I think that it needs to be a priority to put the family first, put the family back together. You need to incentivize, the way you're saying incentivizing, breaking up the family, not letting the man come in. You need to incentivize bonuses for 2-parent household,
right?
But extra tax refunds, like shit like that, and I think that's how we solve those problems. But yeah, I agree that it's definitely fucked up for the family system right now.
Yeah, I think it's even deeper than that, deeper than the money aspect of it. I think it's more of just to destroy black culture, to be honest with you. I mean, as far as that stuff goes, because once you remove the man from the house, like you see how much like masculinity is not celebrated, you know what I mean, in culture. You know what I mean, we see it so much on television and everything where masculinity isn't celebrated. And you know what I mean, you got men being raised by women, which isn't anything wrong with that. You know what I mean, I know a lot of strong men have been raised by women.
Right,
but it's different when you got a man in the household.
It's not the whole equation though.
Yeah, it's different when you got a man in the household.
Respect to every like single mom who's done it and done it right, but it would be easier on her. It would be healthier for the child.
Right.
It would be more of a real home and legacy, like being built with a whole home. I think it creates emotional men, and it for little girls or your daughters or whatever it would be, it just creates a disdain for men.
Yeah. With the one thing you said though is interesting that I found out recently. I've been doing a lot of research into is the national deficit. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with who we owe the most money to with the national deficit?
Who we owe the much money to?
Yeah.
No. Who is it?
So check this out, bro. That's just a scheme, bro. I'm gonna put y'all on game.
Let's get into it.
And y'all can look all of this stuff up because I have. As I'm saying it.
I love it. Let's do it.
The national debt, bro. The most money that the United States government owes the national debt to is the taxpayers. It's to private industries and the taxpayers. They owe us, bro. They owe us money. And like I said, you can Google this. You know what I mean? If you're watching this, you know what I mean? If you want to check this out, you can Google this.
That's a fucking beautiful fact.
Like the most money. So it's all a scam, bro. So they had that Powerball hit, right? It was like $1.4 billion. The lady won $1.4 billion. She took the whole thing. You know how much money she ended up getting?
I'm guessing. Let me guess.
Go ahead. Yeah.
She
1.4
won
billion.
1.4.
But she took it all. She ain't take the
If
annuity.
they're fucking her over, I'm saying she took like 650.
439. 439.
Like, what's the point?
Bro, where's all that money going? You know what I mean?
Overseas?
That's over $1 billion, right? We send billions of dollars over to Israel. So check it out. So the national debt, most of it is owed to the American citizens, is the biggest portion of the national deficit. Then if you look further, the other portions of the foreign debtors that we owe is Japan and I think the UK right now.
Yeah,
Now,
I know about Japan and a couple of them.
so every country has a national deficit. Every country.
Right.
So this is where it becomes a scam at. It's funny, like looking this shit up, and y'all could fact check me. In fact, I want y'all to fact check me on this shit. If you look it up and you see the Japan who they owe their national deficit to, it's their citizens, and then their second then their first foreign debtor is us. So, bro, how the fuck does that work? How do we owe them money and they owe us money?
Right.
You know what I mean? Economically, that just don't make no sense.
Out.
Yeah, that cancels out.
Somewhere somebody's canceling
Nigga, that
out.
sound like a motherfucking, you know what I mean? Like that sound like some money laundering shit.
I tell you what I just learned recently though. I just learned like obviously we're the reserve currency, and there's this thing, I forget what it's called, but it starts with a T. It's called the something effect, and like something for whatever the word is, and it pretty much means whenever you're the reserve currency, like inevitably your country's in debt. Somehow, some way your country's inevitably in debt, but the value of our dollar is losing a lot. Like,
oh, yeah,
obviously, since we went off the gold standard, we went downhill. But a lot of people don't know. Whenever we went off of the gold standard, we pretty much switched to something called the petrodollar. Do you know about the petrodollar?
I'm not familiar, no.
Okay, so to pretty much back our money by something, since we wasn't backed by gold anymore, Nixon in '79 or whatever put us on the petrodollar, which was a deal with Saudi Arabia in the Middle Eastern region that any and all transactions of oil would be done in U.S. currency, U.S. dollar. So we were pretty much technically backed by oil.
Oil, yeah.
And you could look up the petrodollar or whatever. And like we've been fucking shit over, doing all this other shit. 2024, and I'm almost done with my tangent, but 2024, Saudi Arabia decided not to renew their deal with the petrodollar, and they decided to move forward with BRICS. Do you know about BRICS?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I'm not gonna go too far into BRICS, but BRICS is pretty much a union created to combat the reserve currency, the U.S. dollar. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China.
Oh, okay. It's an acronym.
Yeah, and South something. There's another one, and so pretty much, with the petrodollar and shit. I'm just saying, like, they owe all that money. Technically, you're always going to be in debt as the reserve currency, but we fucked ourselves over so bad, and now we're almost not backed by anything.
Yeah.
So
inflation's bound to go crazy at that point.
Yeah, unless we figure shit out, but I'll dive more into that with some of my topics later.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. I actually with that, I wanted to ask you, where do you think inflation is going to go? Like, do you see it being possible for us to get back to like 50-cent chips? Like,
no.
Like,
I think it's just going to get worse. I mean, and this is the thing about it. Like, people want to raise like minimum wage, and as you raise minimum wage, you really won't have a choice but to raise prices.
Right.
Like, because companies aren't going to consume those costs. You know what I mean? If McDonald's is paying their employees $20, they're not going to consume that cost. They're going to hand it down to the consumer. You know what I mean? So instead of which, you know, prices of fast foods are already crazy. Instead of paying $15 for a meal, you're going to pay $22 now to cover that salary and that wage.
Right.
So as long as, you know, I mean, that's the thing about economics people don't understand. Like, that's why minimum wage is not a living wage. You're not meant to stay there forever. That's to start off with.
Right.
And then you go beyond that. So people trying to rally for getting minimum wage raised don't realize the damage that it'll do on the long term. Because your average salary isn't increasing by that much. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're making $30 an hour at your company, and that's decent money. Like, they're not going to all of a sudden, because minimum wages went up to $25, they're not going to give you a $15 bump. You know what I mean? You're still going to be at the same rate that you were, if you're getting $1 raise a year or whatever, you're still going to continue at that margin. So I think it's just going to raise up more and more. I think it's just going to get worse. But depending,
Yeah.
depending on how things go, like, I mean, we're seeing oil go down by a lot. You know what I mean? I don't.
Right. Gold's going through the roof right now.
Yeah, silver too.
Here's my prediction on it. I believe that it's possible for us to get there. I believe everybody has a reason to be like pessimistic about us getting there, but the only way that I see it possible for us to get there, one, as far as the debt, like last year alone, we did secure, I think it was like 18 trillion in investments over like a 10-year period, but like we have that, and then we have the gold card, which goes straight in the U.S. Treasuries towards debt, and they've like the first 15 days they sold like 1.3 billion of that, and pretty much what that is if you want your green card and you want to come to America, you pay $1 million for it.
The expedited green card.
I believe the way that we get back to that, I believe it's very possible. You just need a better CEO of the country like that. Like you just have to cut all that. Now as far as the oil and shit, I think what we're doing right now is fucked, and it's not right. Like bullying countries, taking Venezuela, doing shit like that. But I feel like what I told you about the petrodollar, that's why they're taking Venezuela.
No, that makes. I thought of that immediately after you said that.
So, and then as far as Greenland, China right now holds, I think it's like 78% of the rare earth mineral market. So they have the world in a stronghold pretty much. Greenland.
China has a lot of investments in Africa.
And Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean we do too. But yeah, no, I think the way that we get back to that point is that we pay debt. We're gonna have a rough year this year. I think we're gonna do some bullying. We're gonna feel the after effect. But if we get into a war with Iran, if we get into some shit like that, I'm going kind of off the rails. But I don't know. I think some scary shit could happen.
Yeah. I'm always optimistic about that. I mean, for a couple reasons.
Talk to me.
We have one of the strongest militaries in the world. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Also, we're protected by these big oceans, so it's not easy to get to us.
Right.
I think it's not saying that it can't happen, but it's very difficult to do a.
But here's the thing, though. I agree with you, and that's why we bully countries, because we are the military. Like China and Russia, it's not right after World War II no more. We're not like super strong compared to everybody,
right.
But we are stronger. But I think the thing is, you get into all these wars, you create all these enemies over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
If it does come to a big conflict, you got BRICS, Brazil, China.
Yeah.
India, Russia, whatever. If they're all pouring onto you, I don't know, but yeah. Yeah,
no, I mean there's no telling what could happen with any of that. But like I said, I feel very optimistic about that.
Me too.
On our end, I think we're in a good place for that. You know what I mean? Thank you for all our service members who do serve, and you know what I mean, take care of us and make sure that we do stay safe. But yeah, man, I'm very optimistic on that end. Hopefully it doesn't even come to that, you know what I mean, at the end of the day.
Right.
Hopefully we could keep those people safe and we don't have to put them in harm's way in any type of way.
Yeah, I think I think in this day and age with the technology we have, it's very doable for world peace.
Yeah.
There's no reason why it's not doable. It's been doable, but especially right now. But I think that the way we're doing shit's kind of crazy.
And that's the thing about it. Like, a lot of war isn't even fought by humans no more. They got drones and computers. They say they ran down on the president of Venezuela with fucking dogs and goddamn drones and shit. It was computers. They said not one real soldier went in to fight them. You know what I mean? To capture them. They said the Paw Patrol jumped down on them.
For real?
Basically.
I didn't know that. But
goddamn dogs and drones and shit. You know what I mean? Basically the Paw Patrol. And they got that nigga up out of there, bro.
But yeah, bro, I do see some good shit happening. I am optimistic about a lot of shit. Like, I don't know how you feel about it, but they're in the process of rescheduling weed from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's long overdue, man. I think it's long overdue. I got a guest coming on later in the next couple of months who's got a great story to tell about that, man. He was they did a story on him in Forbes about being arrested for weed, and he had a hell of an organization, man. Like some dope shit. I'm gonna let him speak on a lot of that stuff. He was a lawyer too at one point in time.
Damn.
Passed the bar, very smart dude, wrote scripts, the whole nine. Like he's gonna be a great one to talk to about that and his fight with and he was trying to legalize it, you know what I mean, before he went down. You know what I mean, he's still on the same fight. So shout out to Dose. We're definitely gonna look forward to having him on. But yeah, man, no, I definitely had some questions and some shit lined up for you as well, bro. Like I said, I know some of the shit that you talked about already. Now, like with this AI shit, because AI is advancing more and more, but AI is also like me and my brother was fucking with AI before I came on here. AI is also like glitching a lot more too. We noticed recently. Like, have you heard about the strawberry shit?
No.
You ask AI how many R's are in strawberry, it gives you the wrong answer.
No.
Yeah, tell you 2.
Which AI are we talking about?
Like ChatGPT.
Okay.
Grok was the one that him and I was talking to earlier that gave us the wrong shit.
Damn.
And it gave us a whole bunch of wrong information recently, just about shit. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's been going nuts. But do you think AI has crossed the line from a helpful tool into something that we should be nervous about?
No. As of right now, the present day, what's available, no, I don't. I think AI is simply a tool, like a gun, like a hammer, like an axe.
Mm-hmm.
It's who it's in the hands of.
Okay.
So I don't think that having something that tells you paragraphs or shit like that is detrimental. Now, whenever they do Neuralink and like the common people, like whenever it's more commercial, hey, get a chip in your brain. If you have an injury, get a chip, like shit like that. Or if you have house robots, then I'd answer your question. Yeah, I think it is. But
I mean, shit, we got house robot, we got a Roomba. You know what I mean? We got goddamn house robots pretty much now.
Yeah, but
you got like, Alexa. You know what I mean? We're not too far from that.
I mean, in that sense, I'll say everybody's wiretapped. Like everybody's home's wiretapped. Sure. But I don't think there's a weapon in everybody's home yet.
Yeah. No, that's fair. No, I see what that Neuralink shit's crazy. I was talking to some coworkers about that shit. And
you seen that?
Yeah. I seen I saw that shit early when Elon was putting it on the pigs and was showing the different shit with the pigs, bro. Like that shit's wild. I was asking coworkers like would they do it? They was like, yeah, I'll do it. There's no way.
What?
Yeah, bro.
They say yeah?
They said yeah. They said no hesitation. They was like, I wouldn't be the first one. They said I wouldn't be the first one to do it.
Hell nah.
Yeah. Neuralink. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. That should be glitching. Like, should be glitching regularly, just off of nothing, bro. Like, let that shit glitch in your brain, and then what? Then what the fuck you gonna do?
Firmware update.
Yeah, firmware update. Yeah, you out of here. So yeah, me personally, I'm not with that shit. But I think technology is a beautiful thing, bro. Anytime I'm traveling somewhere and I'm using my GPS, bro, I'm so grateful for that shit. Like, I can't imagine just having to use a map. Like,
fuck that. I think about that sometimes.
Like, where the fuck are we?
Like, I was just
MapQuest.
You was the one who told me. I was just about to say somebody told me they had to like print out directions.
Yeah, MapQuest. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have to do it for my dad when he'd go on work trips.
Yeah, like make a left at the second light past Main Street.
Missed your shot.
Yeah, fuck.
Bro.
It ain't no redirecting. It ain't no rerouting you.
You gotta find that street again.
Again,
Get back on it and redo it.
So that's why I'm saying, like, technology, bro. Like, it's definitely a beautiful thing from that perspective.
Do you think it's at a place where it's dangerous?
Not yet. No, I think we're still in the early stages of it. I don't think it's dangerous now. I think it's a great advantage. Like I would have loved to have that shit growing up as a kid. Like bro, I would have aced everything. Like I would have been so brilliant. Like
You could go through, you get your master degree with that shit.
you feel me? Like, and I'm such a like just sponge anyway. I just want to learn shit anyway, bro. I've been watching documentaries. Like, if we were learning something in school, I would have been watching documentaries on that shit, the book on that shit,
Yeah,
the
plus
audio,
you
YouTube.
could use that. You could use it to give you the blueprint. You could be like, instead of just being like, tell me my essay or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You could be like, how would I go about this? I want to get rich. So
Right.
give me a game plan. And
Yep.
then as a youngin, like, or whenever, at any point in your life, you could be like, okay, apply it.
Yep.
Like, we've evolved so much from newspapers, from fucking, not like just newspapers, but like going to library, getting your knowledge, just Google, like,
That shit's at your fingertips now, bro. That shit's at your fingertips now.
But what's next?
Now
do you
that's
think
the question.
AI is the pinnacle?
No, there's always gonna be something bigger and better down the line. Like, and that shit's probably already in existence. Like, I don't think it's the pinnacle. I think it's just the beginning of something. I think everything's just the beginning of something, though. You know what I mean? Like everything's a beginning of something more. Like if you look at the Nintendo, like they probably was like, oh, this is the, you know what I mean? When that shit came out, they was like, this is the shit. Like this is the end all be all. Now we're on fucking PlayStation. You know what I mean? Now we're on PlayStation 5, and that shit is
and shit.
You feel me? Like, and that shit's like, and that's just the beginning of something more and more. You know what I mean? So, nah, I think that shit's just starting, bro. And I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I think life is what you make it in general.
I think perspective is reality.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm never I'm a realist as well, but I'm also optimistic about the future because you have to be. And if you believe in God, then you know His will rules supreme no matter what man wants. And if you're a true believer of God, then you know that He wants good things for you, and He wants good things for me, and He wants good things for us. So with that in mind, I move in faith that His will is going to rule supreme, and all will be well. You know what I mean? And that's how I try to operate, and that's the space I try to be in, for real. So I don't think it's any different with technology, though. I think technology is a hell of a distraction. I think we should spend more time on worship. You know what I mean? Not that I'm a religious man, but very spiritual. I think we should take more time to be reflective. And when I say worship, I don't mean any one particular religion. I mean, we need to take more time with ourselves. We're always stuck in our phones, always stuck in technology somehow. Like, we need to touch grass, be outside, meditate. You know what I mean? When I say pray, just, meditate, take some time to yourself, get to know yourself. Because it's so often we get caught up in dogma of being who, once again, the ego, right? Being who people think we are, or being who we think we should be for people, and we don't take enough time to know ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think technology does take away from that, and even adds on to that dogma, because we see people live their lives in snapshots, right? And people are like, "Oh, he looks so happy in that picture." Yeah, he's supposed to look fucking happy in pictures. Nobody looks sad in pictures. You know what I mean? You think people are living like that, you know what I mean? And they're really not, you know what I mean? They're just as miserable as the next motherfucker. And we get caught up in trying to live up to what other people are doing. Meanwhile, you don't know what the fuck they're struggling with.
To yourself,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. We get caught up in the world and all the world's ideas for us, but at the end of the day, like, if you're not happy with yourself, you're not at peace with yourself. You don't even know yourself.
Right.
You can't be authentic. You can't. You feel stuck. Like, I feel like depression.
That's why I said all-time high, bro.
I feel like states of depression, and whenever you're like down and shit, a lot of the times it's just because you're not doing your purpose. But whenever you're doing your purpose, you're in the middle of doing like whatever the fuck it is that, like, you fucking love, shit like that, you're in a flow state. You don't even, like, there's nothing.
You ain't got to put no thought into it.
Right.
No, I'm glad mental health is one of the things that I had on my bingo list here as well, bro.
Hell yeah.
Now, for you, just for you, what's something people your age are silently struggling with, you would say, from a mental health aspect?
What's something people my age are silently struggling with? That's a good one. He said
Yeah.
commitment.
Sensei said commitment.
I was gonna say two things. The one thing I feel like we're struggling with is the relationship between the two sexes. Obviously, I feel like like the past 5 years, the world's been a little fucked. Like it's been kind of a war. But the second thing I feel like the obvious thing is just affording houses and shit like that. Like I feel like everybody compares himself to something. And like you were saying, and that's the unhealthy thing is to be going online, you think people are happy, shit like that. But less and less people are actually living that shit today.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, but there's a stat right now that says, what's up, sis? There's a stat like that. There's a stat out right now that says 1 in 150 people in the world right now are millionaires. I'm about to look that up to see if that's a fact.
Yeah.
But like, people are struggling, but I don't know. I feel like our biggest mental health crisis are coming from affordability, and a lot of people are in a situation where that, like, they don't see themselves owning a house for some years. They don't. But the second thing is a relationship between man and woman. That's my answer.
Okay, let's unpack that then. Like, do you think people are just living beyond their means? Is a big part of it?
That's a
'Cause
good fucking.
That's what I feel like. I feel like a lot of times.
Hey.
Because I had a homie tell me who makes some decent money and he's super frugal, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, man, everybody's broke for real. Like, no matter how much money you're making, like everybody's in debt.
That's
Everybody's
a shitty
broke.
mindset.
Like, because most people are living beyond their means, though. You know what I mean? Like, and that is a big part of it. Like, how often do we do things knowing, like, damn, I really shouldn't put the money into this, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, just living for today because we want that instant gratification.
Bro, you're 100% right. I do want to say I looked it up and it does say that roughly 1 in 140 to 1 in 150 adults globally have a net worth exceeding 1 million.
That's crazy.
But fuck.
Living beyond your means.
Yeah, living beyond your means. I feel like that all stems from financial literacy. Like I tell people all the time, like the difference between being wealthy and being rich and being poor, like those compared to wealth is knowledge. Because if you have two people, one person wins the lottery, 1.4 billion, right?
Yep.
The other person is a businessman who understands business, blah, blah, blah. He gets a business loan for 20 million. Which one of those people do you think in the long term?
It's going to have the money at the end.
Right. At the end of the day, everybody's going to say, oh, the businessman. And why is it the businessman? It's because
he has the knowledge, yeah.
Like, he doesn't have some special thing. His family
No special sauce, yeah.
His family didn't fucking anoint him regardless of if they had money or not and be like, you will have money. Like, no. He got knowledge. He applied it.
Rich dad, poor dad.
And, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rich dad, poor dad. And I feel like it's retarded that us being America, the capitalist society, reserve currency, richest country in the world, that we don't teach financial literacy.
Yeah, that's on purpose, though. It's rich dad, it's so the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. So, furthermore, to your point, though, I have a similar theory. I always tell people that, like, if they hit the reset button on the world right now and gave everybody the equal amount of money, like, they're still, like, give it a week, maybe not even a week, give it a few days, like, there's going to be poor people and there's going to be rich people. You know what I mean? If they reset everything and started everybody off with the same amount of money, like, give it a week and there's going to be rich people and there's going to be poor people. And it's based off of what you said, like, the knowledge, right? Like, some people know what to do with money, some people don't know what to do with it. And, you know what I mean? Some people were... I always say some people are meant to be kings, some people are meant to be peasants, and it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just a thing. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't meant to be king.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Some people got to follow. But no, you make a good point, bro. And one of the things I always say too is, like, time's the great equalizer, right? Like, what are you doing with your time? Like, how do you value time? Like, I always talk about, like, how much me getting a proper perspective on time has changed my life in so many ways, because time is the only thing that is completely fair and even. Like, no matter if you're rich, poor, black, white, fat, skinny, ugly, beautiful, like, we all got the same 24 hours.
Right.
Like, that's the only thing in this world that's even. Now, what do you do with those 24 hours is the great separator. You know what I mean? Like, I get up early in the morning and I start my day off early as fuck. You know what I mean? Because that's where I get my most productivity. You know what I mean? I'm in the gym early. I'm doing different shit to try to better myself early because I'm trying to do shit. You know what I mean? I'm trying to maximize my time.
Yeah.
Most people sleep. You know what I mean? You might find a motherfucker sleeping until 12, 1 o'clock, bro. And like, what are you doing with your time? And understanding the value of your time and what to put time towards. You know what I mean? Like, some people don't get that. So, you know what I mean? You can't be mad at anything. You can't be mad at nobody but yourself at the end of the day if you're not giving it the proper, if you're not giving your time the proper value.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I mean, that's simply, I think that's simply what separates people, because, like, respect to everybody. Everybody has their place, like you said.
Yeah.
And respect everybody who will work 9 to 5 till they die, but you get stuck in a cycle, like a hamster wheel, and your time is the same every day.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, I can't work out because I work. Oh, I can't.
Yep.
You give yourself all these excuses, so you never do your purpose. You do somebody else's purpose for them, because you're building their dream,
Their
which
empire.
is good.
Yeah.
Like, you can do that as a stepping stone. But, yeah, man, I just think simply some people aren't meant to do business, some people are, but I think that we're about to step into a time. I believe we're about to step into a time, if no wars happen and shit, no big ones, that there's going to be a lot of prosperity and a lot more family business and shit.
You said finance is one of the things you think people are struggling with, and you said like the division between women and men. You think it's getting more and more. You think it's getting wider?
No, I think right now it's getting better.
Okay.
I feel like 2025, it was still, I mean, I don't have like any fucked relationship. I'm looking at it as a whole, like, but I think it was still a bit like a little fucked, but I think that we're starting to get our priorities a little better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't think we're like on no 90s love or like no like real traditional shit yet, but not that it has to be some old shit, but I think we're not widening the gap, we're getting closer.
I think social media is a big part of that though too, right? Because people think they got all these options now, right? Like people got all these options now. Like you said, 90s, like you didn't have to worry about a motherfucker going on social media and having a million motherfuckers in her inbox and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like a girl had to really value the person she was with and not think she had all these options. And the thing about options is like the grass always look greener on the other side, but the grass is the greenest where you water it at. You know what I mean? So
that's a fucking bar. What the fuck?
You know what I mean? So like we spend so much time worrying about what we don't have instead of trying to nurture what we do have. And I can't remember where it came from. I love cliches and quotes, but somebody said
it's cliche because it's true.
Yeah, for sure. They said everything you got. I think my uncle told me. I don't know where he got it from. He was like, everything you got, you once wanted. You know what I mean? So it's good to keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Everything you have, you wanted at some point in time. And we take shit for granted so much. You know what I mean? Just living in a microwave generation where instant gratification comes to us so easy. You know what I mean? Like we can order fucking DoorDash and get shit delivered to us right away. Like we're so caught up in instant gratifications. I think relationships end up like that. You know what I mean? Like women, and once again, social media, women see, oh, she's doing that with him, or he's doing that for her, like not knowing what's really taking place behind closed doors. Like that shit might, like I said, everybody look happy in the pictures, but you don't know what the fuck they going home to and what they talk. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's the big thing that's been dividing people is just social media and the
false realities.
Yeah, the false realities, bro. That's a great way to put it. This false thinking of I have all these options when nah, you don't. You don't.
Right. Because none of that shit's real. I mean, it's real lust.
Yeah.
Like.
That shit's out there.
But like none of that shit's gonna build you or whatever.
It's not gonna sustain you.
But yeah. No, I think shit will get better. I'm optimistic, and as I said, I think perspective's reality. So if I look at it as it's not gonna get better,
then it won't.
You feel me? So I think
I think it'll get better. I think as we learn to navigate it, you know, what I mean, the more we learn to navigate it, and then the more we become familiar with it, and the more education and conversations like this we have, the better it'll get, right?
I think I think if it doesn't get better now in the next like 20 years, well, next 10 years, 10 to 15 years, then it won't get better because we have so much information available. Be it we also have a lot of shitty information, but we have so
A lot of
much
misinformation, right?
right. But we have like we have so many great role models and information and shit to learn to look into. I don't see why somebody can't get whatever skill they want, whether it be family, financial, spiritual, anything.
No, 100%. Now, as far as mental health is concerned, do you think we're actually more open about mental health now, or are we just more comfortable like labeling everything now? Like everything has a label to it.
You said, do I think we're more comfortable what?
Are we more comfortable being open about mental health, or are we just have we just found labels to put on shit?
I feel like, I mean, there's definitely a lot of bullshit labels made. I feel like for everything, obviously for advertisement and give you shit, but I think as far as mental health and being open about it, I think that we're never going to be at a point where everybody's like speaking about like, oh, this is what I'm going through. This is what, because if we did, then everything would be used against people and everything would be toxic and shit like that. I don't think you'll ever know people's true mental health, but I think that as individuals seeking their own help, or like therapy or meditating or learning themselves, things like that, with like self-help for that shit, I don't think there's been a bunch more labels, but I think maybe pharmaceutical or shit like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes 100% sense. Big Pharma's definitely pushing them drugs, right? They gotta sell
Right.
them drugs.
Well, there's a drug for anything.
For
like,
anything, bro.
Like you could make some shit up right now, go into a doctor's office and be like, some shit's wrong with my ear or some shit.
Yeah.
Or just make some bullshit. They'll be like, oh, I know what it is. Here, take
Yep.
this. Like, it's, and at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I think natural's the way to go.
No, I agree with you
I don't
on
know
that,
how you feel about that, but I think.
No, I'm big on that.
I think every problem has a solution, every cause has an effect. And I think most disease stems from inflammation. And there's an answer to everything.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, bro. You fuck with Dr. CB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to fuck with him heavy.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried any of his shit?
Nah.
Have you ever tried it, like any type of, like, have you ever done a vegetarian stint or some shit like that?
No, I fuck with the sea moss. I was fucking with sea moss heavy for a minute.
Yeah, I need to take that shit.
Yeah, sea moss. I was
used to
fucking with that
take
heavy.
sea moss, haritaki, shigla, and like ashwagandha.
The mushrooms, yeah.
Yeah, ashwagandha. And
Ashwagandha,
shit like
yeah, I was fucking with some ashwagandha too. Yeah, no, I'm with you, bro. I try to that should just be tough to keep up with from the financial standpoint.
Yeah, facts.
That's the hard part about it for me. That's why I don't be keeping up with it, because I was doing sea moss for a minute, but I was like, man, I can't keep spending $60 for a goddamn.
Right, and I don't feel like you should. I don't think you need it every day. Like, I don't think the only things that I would recommend, like, to take every day if you were to, like, I want to take vitamins. Is like,
yeah, I take vitamins.
Is like fish oils or vitamin D. But
vitamin D, yep.
For the most part, if you feel down, take a sea moss, take some shit like that. But just eat good shit.
Yeah.
Like, eat real food.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I think most people's problem in America with their health, with us being the most unhealthy
Eating all that processed shit,
is that we're not eating real food.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear a lot of people talk about when they go out of the country, like, shit be tasting different, like the fruits, the vegetables.
Bro, yeah.
Be tasting different.
And the thing is, like, I've only went out of country once, so I can't say for, like, a bunch of places, but like, the food there, the food, like, they still ate a bunch of sweets. They still ate unhealthy. They still ate, but it was all real. So, like, you look around, maybe, like, 3 in every 100 people are a little chubby. Like,
right.
And
obesity didn't run crazy.
Right, but like everywhere you go, there's gelato stands. Everywhere you go, there's like candies and shit, but it's like real homemade shit.
Yeah, natural ingredients.
Right.
Yeah, no processed shit.
So like I don't think there's any like special diet. I just think it's just real food.
I know you had some shit you wanted to talk about as well.
But yeah. I wanted to ask you. Well, first I'll ask you your thoughts on. It's kind of a controversial topic, but I've been hearing a lot the later half of last year. Do you think hip hop right now, the state it's in, do you think like where it's headed right now? Do you think it's dying?
No, hell no.
Like as a. Because I feel like as U.S. is the reserve currency, right? I feel like hip-hop has kind of been the top thing for like the past 15, 20 years. And now 2025 is the first year that we weren't in the top 40. Like there was no hip-hop in the top 40, fell out. Shit like that happening. A lot of artists, shit's going down, and I don't see a new hip-hop, like a new roster coming.
That's a beautiful thing. So hip-hop started off underground.
Yeah.
And that's where it belongs, is in the underground. So
Okay.
the fact that it's falling off of the pop charts is a beautiful thing, because it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be that. So the essence of hip hop, I think, is coming back around too. Like, I think I always liken it to fashion, right? There's always trends, right? There's always trends, especially in Black culture. There's these things that come about. There was FUBU, and there was a Mary. You know what I mean? There's always these different things that come about. But like true fashion, that's like Levi's ain't go nowhere. You know what I mean? Like Levi's is gonna be around forever. Ralph Lauren ain't going nowhere. Like that shit sticks. You know what I mean? Like that shit's gonna be the shit that sustains. Right. And I say that to say, like, that's what you see a lot of time in hip hop that becomes popular. Kanye, you know what I mean? You're a Kanye fan too. So Kanye said that too. He was like, you know, pop music is just popular music. I think a lot of things that were hip hop became pop because it was just so popular. But I think hip hop is getting back to its true essence. That's why a lot of people are becoming fans of the lyricists like Bodie James. You see guys like that are starting to emerge and become bigger. You see guys like Freddie Gibbs becoming more popular. You know what I mean? You see these guys who are really lyricists who are starting to become popular. Right. And plus the message is getting stale, bro. Like it's
now that leads into what I was gonna say. I feel like the idea of it being pop charts, I just think it's simply, I mean, a lot of this shit will be manufactured or shit. Certain artists are manufactured, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's just timeless music, and like numbers come to great things. Like you go back like 50 Cent, all the people who's around, like Eminem, all them, like even the people, a lot of underground people were selling. I mean, it was a different format, but it was, I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, Freddie Gibbs grown's big, Yachty's grown's big, all that's grown's big. But the reason why I feel like it's going down, and I love hip hop. Hip hop's my number one genre. Hip hop, R&B, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like the reason why it's been falling is because it's been losing its soul. Like it's been losing a message. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, yeah, everybody can talk their shit. They can, but like it's been losing like essence and a leader. Like, because 100%. At the end of the day, a lot of the old school gotta die. Like the current big people, like they gotta go soon. So like, yeah. And I think that underground is great and it's good. I just think that they need to continue to find ways to get it out to the people. Yeah, that's all.
No, that's a good point.
And I think that real timeless art always
reigns.
Yeah,
reigns supreme. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think it has lost its heart. I think it's become commercialized to the point like most songs are just a walking commercial, bro.
Exactly, I agree.
Most songs. I said it on one of our podcasts. I think it might have been like one of the Smoke podcasts where like you look at a nigga like and I got this theory from somebody else. Like you look at a nigga like Future, like I wouldn't be surprised if he had like a deal with Big Pharma. You know what I mean? Like if he didn't have some type of background, you know what I mean, be backdoor underground deal with Big Pharma because he's pushing all these pharmaceuticals, right? I'm the worst. You see a lot of that taking place. You know what I mean?
That'd be crazy.
I mean, but look at it though.
I mean, it could definitely. There's no reason that can't be true.
Yeah, yeah.
But that would be wild.
You know what I mean? Like you see shit like that. You see these guys that like everything's a commercial, bro. And not even just hip hop, just in culture in general. You watch a TV show, And I know, like I was a part of a TV show, and they're big on that shit, like what they let get through and what they don't let get through. Like if you're watching a TV show and you see a Dunkin' Donuts something in there, that shit's on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? Like I remember we had a
because they're gonna take that shit down if it ain't.
yeah, they're gonna take that shit down, bro. So I found out, this is funny as hell. I found out from being on a TV show, bro. Like Carhartt will not let somebody die in their gear. Like you can't die in a Carhartt. Like they won't let you kill somebody if they're wearing Carhartt. You know what I mean? Like
take the video down.
Yeah, bro. Like they won't let you.
What
they won't
the
let you.
fuck?
Yeah, you got to cover that shit up if you're in Carhartt and you die.
God damn.
So that lets you know like how strict they are on marketing. So you know what I mean, like I was watching a show the other day and they had like something, I don't know if it was like Pizza Hut or whatever the brand was. That shit was in there and I'm like, yo, they did that shit on purpose. Like, but I say that to say about hip hop, it's become so commercialized now. I seen a reel recently where a dude was talking about that. He called himself Young CIA, and he was just like, he was like how rappers sound nowadays. He was like, sell drugs, fuck bitches.
Yeah.
Exotic cars. You know what I mean? And that's what it'd be like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Buy fake jewelry. Buy fake jewelry. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that's what it sounds like when you're listening to it now, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Kill people in your community.
Right.
Kill people in your community.
Yeah. What,
Use assault rifles. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like goddamn, like, and that's what this shit sound like, bro.
which is like
What's that? In GTA? Oh. No, it was Young CIA.
which is like okay, all that's okay, but tell me how, tell me why, tell me, like, give me some real substance to it.
Right.
Like, give me some real background. Tell
Yeah.
me, like,
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool if you, like you said, if you have a story, if it's a story to it, if it's content. But saying that shit just for the sake of saying that shit is something different.
Yeah, if the intention's just to fit in, then all you are is a sheep.
Yeah, you can't be destructive.
And you think you stand out and you think you're cool, but you're just a sheep.
What's the damn, I can't remember who was it. Was it Ye again? Like I hate to keep referencing Ye, but he was
Yeah.
But you
That nigga.
said something about making a song talking about killing dogs, and I'm like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, but we can make songs talking about killing niggas though.
Right, facts.
But I make a song about killing dogs, you're gonna be like, no, I can't. We can't put that out. Like, how crazy is that? You know what I mean? Like, how crazy is that? Like, they'll rather you talk about killing niggas than killing animals, bro.
Because
Probably on their ass about that.
Yeah, but why ain't nobody on their ass about killing people in their community though?
Because
You know what I mean?
feel
That's
like,
just crazy.
Like you said, like earlier in this video, like about CIA and implant and shit. I feel like a lot of artists and a lot of maybe songs or shit or messaging is rewarded and maybe intentional. And it just was rewarded and intentional because they knew it would spread like a virus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, just give us a message, give us substance. And if your intention is to, yeah, this is what I am, I'm staying in it forever, whatever, then like you'll be cool for a minute, but you'll die. You won't be timeless. You feel me?
Yeah.
Timeless evolves. Timeless
does evolve.
keeps going.
No, 100%, bro.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you, shout out MLK, what's your thoughts on, and do you think there should be the fact that there's not a Malcolm X Day, but there's an MLK Day?
I mean, you already know, bro. That's by design too, right? Because they don't want the message. They're afraid that people are going to, if there was a Malcolm X Day, then people would be forced to look at him more. Yeah. And then they would be forced to look at his message, and then they would be forced to listen to what he was saying. And Malcolm's by far one of my favorite civil rights leaders, because he just epitomized strength. There's a famous clip. There's a famous clip of him talking to the FBI. The FBI was wired. I know you and I spoke about that off camera before, but the FBI was wired, and they went to Malcolm X. And this is an actual thing that happened. Y'all can check this out now. Y'all can, as long as they don't pull that shit. But y'all can go look at that shit.
Pull it right after this interview.
Yeah, the FBI went up to Malcolm X and they were like, "Can you tell us something about the Nation of Islam?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Well, aren't you afraid they're going to try to kill you?" Blah. He's like, "Nah." He's like, Then he's like, "They're like, we'll offer you." They offered him money. He was like, man, he said you insult not only my intelligence but your own intelligence by thinking that I'm gonna do something that's going to be detrimental to another black person or another black man. Like they couldn't buy him. You know what I mean?
Right. It's integrity.
Yeah, it's
Real
integrity. You know what I mean? And if you know what I mean, if it comes down to it, I just think he was like one of the last real leaders, messengers, messiahs, if you will, that we had. So
Right.
I'm not surprised that there's not a Malcolm X Day. I don't think that there would be or there will be, but I think it's good to bring about awareness to people about Malcolm X and what he stood for and the message that he was delivering and just his pure, just his charisma and the way he carried himself, bro, was just second to none. You know, if you watch some of these old interviews where he's surrounded at a round table with a whole bunch of hostile white folks and he just keeps his composure, you know what I mean, doesn't get flustered, answers their questions, you know what I mean, to the point where they have to say, wow, you know what I mean, where they're in awe of him because of the way that he conducted himself.
Right. Because he was purely authentic.
Purely authentic, right?
Yeah, and you could see that shit, and you could feel that shit.
Yeah, I think it would be great to have a Malcolm X Day, but I don't see it happening just because his message is counterproductive of everything they try to push on our people. You know what I mean? He wasn't for drugs. He wasn't for he wasn't with the liberal agenda. You know, he wasn't with that.
Right.
You know, he was a very conservative guy. You know, he believed in independence. He spoke about how segregation was a bad idea, or how not segregation was a bad idea, but how the ending of segregation was a bad idea, which it did end up being costly to us because now in our communities we have people who don't look like us running businesses.
Right.
And when there was segregation, we were forced to, not forced, but we had to, well, I guess you could say forced. We were forced to have businesses and shop with people who look like us. Now you have people who are from other countries in our communities putting up stores and making all the money on the corner stores, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, no, I think that there wouldn't be a Malcolm X Day for those reasons because it's completely counterproductive to what their message is or what they want us to follow.
Right. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of the traits and characteristics you say about like Malcolm X as a leader and shit, and like second to none, and like speaking out on shit, I feel like a lot of people don't realize it or know it. In the same way they like don't give you Malcolm X, they don't talk about him. MJ, Michael Jackson, like he like besides the music, besides the dancing, he was a leader, and I think that before he died, he said on the interview, it was like a 98, 99 interview, he said that whenever he retires the music, which is what he was about to do, he was planning on getting into films and getting into shit like that.
Yeah, yep.
He was controversial for like, they don't care about us, leave me alone, this and that. And he would actually hold press conferences talking about shit. And they took him out right before social media.
Yeah.
I feel like those two individuals, especially Malcolm X, had a trajectory and a message that like really could have brought the globe on one accord.
Yeah.
Like
now you make a good point about Michael, bro, because people don't understand like financially what he was doing as well, right? Because
exactly.
he was buying up people like the Beatles catalog and shit like that.
He bought Beatles in the 80s, and then he bought half of Sony. He had Jay-Z, Beyonce, Eminem, like the whole fucking plethora. He owned all that shit. He was in the bid for, it's funny, I just learned this shit 2 weeks ago. Whenever the whole pedophile allegations and shit like that, which he was proven innocent on all of it, but whenever that shit came out, it was the same exact year that he got into a bid for Marvel.
Okay.
He was trying to buy Marvel.
I've heard that before. I definitely heard that.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
And he was planning on doing shit like that, but even outside of business shit, like I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, like I mean, his message from the beginning of his career, Jackson 5 to the end of his career, was always about like come together, let's get on one accord, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
I feel like
100%.
if anybody was a nigga to like, all right, y'all rise up,
To unify,
rebel, like rebel. This is what they're doing. If anybody was wanting to know shit, it would have been them two.
Yeah, Prince was on the same type time too. Prince was telling niggas to own their masters, and like he wouldn't even work with people if they didn't own their own masters.
Well, ain't that the reason he made his name a symbol?
Yeah, yeah. because he wasn't fucking with the record labels.
That's low key brilliant if
Yeah.
you think about it. Is that why Ye did it too?
I don't know. I don't know why Ye went that route. I don't know why Ye. I can't speak to that with 100% certainty.
I've high respect for Prince. Excuse me. One, knowing that he played 33 instruments, but
Yeah, no, he was
two,
amazing. Yeah,
he was definitely an independent thinker.
yeah, 100%.
And he was different. He was like not too many people could have pulled off what the fuck he was.
Yeah.
He was different.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, but you make a good point about Mike and all the business end of it. Yeah, and I don't think that shit was a coincidence, bro.
Exactly.
He was making a lot of power moves. I don't think none of that shit's coincidence.
Bro,
And the funny thing
right
about
before the internet.
the funny thing about it, like the
before
pedophile
social
shit,
media.
right? Like we know they don't give a fuck about pedophiles because Epstein files. So we know they don't give a fuck about that shit. And the thing is, like, if you hear anybody, like you hear Corey Feldman, I don't know if you know who Corey Feldman is, but he was a child actor back in the day, and he was always talking about how Charlie Sheen was molesting him and shit. Like he was very vocal. Corey Feldman was very vocal about he's very vocal about like being molested in Hollywood. And Corey Feldman knew Michael Jackson well, and he was like, people always talk about Michael. He's like, Michael didn't do anything to me. He was like, he's like, I'm telling y'all who did something to me. Like, you can look up the Corey Feldman shit. He was like, these people did something to me. He's like, but Michael Jackson never did anything to me.
Bro.
And then you heard Macaulay Culkin said the same exact
Macaulay
thing.
Culkin, the actual
Aaron
first,
Carter.
Yeah,
Aaron Carter tells a great story about how he was hanging out with Michael, came back from hanging out with Michael, and his mom was there with some FBI agents, and they were like, she was like, tell him what he did to you.
Right.
And he said he looked at her dead in the face, was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we hung out. He was like, Chris Tucker was there. We rode go-karts. He's like, we had a good time. He's like, I know what you're trying to do. And he's like, I'm not doing that.
Bro, like, I feel like, obviously that shit was on purpose, and there was no, you go online, just look up, is this shit true, is this false or not?
Right.
But I feel like he was just too powerful. Like you said, if anybody was the one to, like, break us, like, and tell us, like, yo, this is what's really going on, y'all.
Yeah.
Come together, it was that nigga. Because, like, if you look it up, it's a fact. You could look it up. He's the second most transcribed or whatever it is.
And human.
He's the second most dictator transcribed person in the world behind Jesus Christ.
Yep, yeah.
And that's a fact. That's not just talking shit.
Yeah.
You could look that up.
That's a real
fact.
thing, yeah.
And that man just died like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, like, he had the whole, like, tribes that weren't even knowing shit. If anybody was a nigga to, like, really break the mold, it was him. That's why he's gone.
Yeah. No,
And
for
the
sure.
person who killed him was in jail for 2 years, got out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, so definitely rest in peace to Mike, man.
and Malcolm.
And Malcolm, for sure. Rest in power.
Oh, God. Yeah. But let me ask you, what was your most enjoyable and memorable interview that you did at 2025? Or don't give me one. Give me top three. Give me a top three.
Damn, 20.
If you can.
Bro, honestly, I don't. They all run together. I can't even say if it was in 2025 or 2024, 2023, because we've been doing them that long, huh?
Right.
They all run together, so I can't even. I don't even know which one took place over last year. Any of them. I'll just give you my top three overall.
Top three overall.
Right. And I always say this, Harlan. What's up, Harlan?
Harlan. Okay.
Harlan's definitely one of my all-time favorite, just because Harlan has a great story.
Yeah.
Harlan was in the streets, really in the streets, really about that life, and he unfortunately suffered from a gunshot wound, and almost lost his life, and gave his life to the Lord after that, and truly gave his life to the Lord. Bros gave up, cigarettes, gave up liquor. And he was a rapper, and started doing Christian rap, and he does amazing Christian rap. I've been listening to a lot of Harlan lately. His new album Cross is amazing. So if y'all get a chance, check that out. I'm not even Christian, but I listen to a lot of Harlan. He does Christian rap, and he, it's not just even about Christian, it's positivity. I like to listen to positive things sometimes. Yeah. That's why I like old school reggae, because it's real spiritual, it's real positive. But nonetheless, I digress. Harlan's story. His music, his being, his essence is just so powerful. so Harlan's definitely one of those for me. Always sticks out whenever people ask me that. I always mention Harlan. Damn, outside of Harlan, always good to catch up with my man Fran. Franchise. He did my first episode, and he also did my 100th episode.
What?
Yeah, Fran's a dope individual. He was signed.
History.
He was signed to Mac Miller under the Remember label. You know, what I mean,
Fuck yeah.
Franz did a lot of dope shit. You know, what I mean, he's toured with Mac. He was close with him. He did a lot of dope shit with like Knife Wonder, Murs, all sorts of people, and he was gracious enough to grant me my first interview.
So is Fran a Pittsburgh artist?
Yeah, Fran's a Pittsburgh artist.
All
Yeah.
right, shout out Fran.
So that was a dope one, and shit, I'm gonna probably have to go with Millie Banks. Shout out to Millie Banks who came the whole way from Cali, to rock with us. You know what I mean?
That's
She's
a
super
fucking
talented.
trip.
Yeah,
Respect.
she came out of here, so I gotta shout her out. That was probably our furthest. That's probably the artist that came the furthest to rock with us was Millie Banks.
Millie Banks.
Yeah, she's super dope. Had a great story. Super vulnerable when she was here. You know, those moments that she was almost in tears. She told me, she was like, I ain't never have an interview like that.
That's great.
You know, she was very open. So shout out to her for being one of those interviews for sure. Those are the ones that come to mind for me. But I've been fortunate enough to speak to a lot of people, and every conversation is a great one. You know, I mean, everybody that I got a chance to talk to, I'm always grateful that they even want to sit here and talk with me. You know, I mean, I don't know why you would want to do that, but they do it, and I'm grateful for it, that they give me their time and, you know, dedicate the time to come here and talk and promote whatever they have going on. So, but Harlan's always the one that's closest to my heart, man. I got a lot of love for Harlan.
Respect.
And
So
his
Harlan,
journey.
So it's Harlan, Fran, and Millie Banks.
Millie Banks, yeah.
Millie Banks,
Yeah,
okay.
franchise and Millie Banks for sure.
Respect. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, brother. So, you got any drops you're looking forward to coming here soon?
Yeah, man, I'm glad you asked. God damn it. We got the Smoking Loud video coming next week,
Fuck yeah,
featuring
okay.
my man Barbados Black,
Smoking Loud.
produced
Alright.
by Big Germ.
That was off of the last EP, or is this a new single?
No, this is just a new single. We dropped it on the
bet.
New Year. We was in the studio. I had a song to hook myself terribly, and I knew I knew someone that could do it better. You know what I mean? If I could, I'm fortunate enough that I know individuals who can do things that I can't do. So if I have an idea,
You can craft it perfect.
yeah, and I did a reference track for it, and Barbados knocked it out the park with the hook, and you know what I mean, he really enjoyed the track and he believed in it, and he kind of had the idea to even do the video, and he hooked us up with the videographer and all that, and yeah, man, we got the video dropping for that next week. This year I'm gonna do another EP with the homie Nate Fox, so we can look forward to that. That's gonna be dope. And I'm gonna do.
You said this week?
No, this year. This year
this
we're gonna
year.
look. I don't know when that's gonna be complete, but we're not gonna rush it. We're gonna make sure it's crafted correctly.
Yeah.
To follow up the last one, and we're gonna drop Marlys State of Mind 3 this year. So you know what I mean, a lot of dope shit, and then you know, like I said, we got a lot of dope interviews coming up on the network. I was talking to my homie about another segment. I don't want to speak too much on it until we start to give it some more life.
Manifest more,
Yeah, but we got a lot of dope shit coming up, bro. How about yourself? What you got coming up for the year?
Hell yeah. So for this year, I'm actually looking to get back into what I took a pause from. So 2025, I didn't drop any music. Took a step back from merch and all. But this year, what I'm looking forward to get into is I'm getting my new studio set up this month, and I'm recording, getting back into that. But my real main focus and goal is I'm going to do a second reaction stream, kind of political, kind of just free idea thought.
Yeah.
Live stream that I do like 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
that I'll be doing from my own home setup. So I'm looking to get into that. And besides that, everything else is just home base and getting better as a trader. I've been doing a lot with trading. I'd say it's music, streaming, building the base here and there, and building as a trader, because I believe that trading is the most profitable skill set in the world. So, but I'll touch more into that as that manifests as well, same way you said.
Yeah, hell
As
yeah,
yours
bro.
manifests.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, and man,
But-
this was definitely a great time. I knew it was going to be a great conversation. I was
Yeah.
looking forward to having you on here, man, and make sure if y'all tuning in now, man, make sure y'all check back in next Friday. You know, Greg's gonna have some more shit for y'all. And what
The
time?
world we know.
The world we know. What time are you?
2:30. Catch us
2:30?
Friday every week.
Friday every week, and y'all know I'm gonna be here every Saturday for the world's dopest podcast, the Marlys State of Mind podcast, right here at a Bunch of Bull Studio.
The greatest.
Man, but until then, we out of here, yo.